Hey, everybody. What I want to talk about today is the fact that you determine your own value. Okay. A lot of times women are going around really expecting someone else to determine their value for them. And actually, not only expecting someone else to determine their value for them, they expect someone else to value them more than they value themselves. Okay. And just so that we can see just how faulty this way of operating and thinking is, let's look at what we're doing when we do that. See, when you get involved with someone and what they're giving is not what you want, the only time that because you're seeking to change them in some way, okay? People kind of put themselves under all of these illusions that, when they meet someone, they're not trying to change the person. They're not trying to, they're not having expectations. They like to think that they're loving this person unconditionally by sitting around being mistreated or being devalued, or this person doesn't even value their presence in their life, like the person really could care less whether they're around at all. If you go away, the person doesn't even try to keep you in their life, which tells you, if a person doesn't miss you when you're gone, or they don't value your absence, they didn't value your presence. See, when someone leaves that you didn't even value them being there, you hardly really notice. Okay, it's not a big deal to you to have this person in your life, no matter who the person is. Anybody that we really value having in our life, we value them. It's something natural. Okay, we don't have to be told to value things. Okay, you don't have to tell a person that, okay, my wallet is valuable to me, so I need to protect my wallet, or I need to make sure that I'm taking care of my wallet, keeping my wallet on me. You don't have to tell people things like that, because that's just what we automatically do with things we value. It's just, we don't have to think about it, okay? So what happens is, you meet someone and they are not giving you what you deserve. But instead of saying this person just they're not valuing me, or they don't treat me the way that I deserve to be treated, so I'm not going to put my energy and effort into this, or I'm not going to put myself in this situation, the person continues to chase that person. And see, what you're doing when you continue to chase a person that isn't valuing you, and you're trying to actually get them to value you. So basically, it just shows how much you don't value yourself. Okay, because you're not even valuing yourself enough to say, you know what, if this person doesn't value me, I value me. Meaning, I value my emotions, my mental stability. I value myself, and the fact that being constantly devalued by this person is painful to me. So I value myself enough to not hurt myself. Okay, that's what it's about. So when you don't do that, it's basically like showing up and saying, okay, I don't value myself enough to say that, I'm not going to be treated this way, but you should value me enough. You should value me enough to not treat me this way. And until you do, I'm going to stay here and be treated this way until you realize that you should value me more. Do you see what a powerless place that comes from? What a place of low self-esteem and self-worth that comes from, because you are completely depending on this other person to determine your value. So if they determine your value to be very low and they treat you as such, then you're going to be a victim to that. You're going to be subjected to that, because that's the choice they made, that's the value they gave you, and that's where your value is. See, that we're supposed to be determining our own value. You determine your value, and then the people that come into your life, they have to pay the price of that value. Okay, meaning whether it is, I just don't want to be talked. I don't want to be talked to in an abusive or really harsh way by someone, because I value myself more than that. So when someone comes along, they talk to me in an abusive way, they don't value me enough. They're not paying the toll of being in my life, in a sense. You know what I'm saying? So this is what it's like when you're not doing that. You know, when people are operating from this standard place that most people tend to operate from. So what they're actually doing is, it's basically just like opening a store, okay, where you have valuables and goods that you're going to sell, okay, and you don't have a price on anything. People can just come in and they determine the price. Okay, and so then everybody pays a lot less than what everything is worth. So people can come in and they can take something that costs $100, and they can give you $1 for it. Okay, do you see how this place is going to go out of business? Do you see how this is not something that is sustainable to keep the doors open? It's not sustainable to keep the doors open. So the same way it's not sustainable in business to do something like that, it's not sustainable for you emotionally and energetically. You can't do that. You're going to be depleted. Okay, you're going to go out of business. You're going to be running on fumes. This is why you have to have that regard for yourself so that you don't end up depleted. You have to set a value for yourself. And people who do not value you and they're not willing to give you what you deserve. I mean, come on, at the very least, don't you deserve to be treated with dignity and respect? You know, there's certain things. Don't you deserve to be valued? Shouldn't you be important to people in your life, even on a basic level? You know, so that's what people have to think about, and they have to realize that they are the determining factor for their value. And to think that other people are wrong or they're evil or they're bad people because they don't value us more than we value ourselves is just a way of creating an illusion for ourselves to feel better, because we don't want to take the responsibility for the fact that we are the ones who are devaluing ourselves first. Okay, and it feels better to think that we're valuing ourselves somehow and they're just not, they're wrong. But we don't understand that this is just the way that life operates. Okay, that's just the way of the world. Nobody really goes around valuing things more than the value. How many times do we go in the store and there's a price set on something and then we say, okay, we're going to pay more than that. Okay, I know that this costs $99, but you know what? I think it's worth $200. I'm going to pay $200 for it. We just don't do that. It's not a natural way that we operate as humans. We don't. Okay, so now to a certain degree, that part is about character, but you get the point that I'm making. Okay, because when I meet people that don't have a lot of value for themselves, I do value them a little bit more to show them their value in some ways. Okay, but even that, I don't go around making it a point of that, because at the end of the day, we're all responsible for ourselves. And a person that's in a karmic cycle of not valuing themselves, the universe is going to show them ultimately their own pain and suffering, and going through that cycle enough is going to show them eventually that they're going to have to value themselves, because they're just going to get tired of suffering enough to begin to value themselves. Okay? So that is something to think about, guys. I hope that you enjoyed it. And remember, guys, sign up for the Rise of the Divine Feminine Boot Camp on April 8th. I want to see you there. Okay, we're going to be going all the way from the karmic feminine into the divine feminine. And we're going to be rising up out of a lot of these things that prevent us from being able to stand in our full divinity, stand in our sovereignty, and stand in our power. Okay, so I hope to see you guys there, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.